Councillor LeBlanc.
Thank you. I've always found houseless people to be very inconvenient. As a child, I was afraid of them, crossing the street to avoid them and averting eye contact if anyone asked me for money. That discomfort didn't stop as I got older. It was annoying to see houseless people because it was a constant reminder of the blight in our society. Couldn't someone just hide that problem away? The Anti-Poverty Ministry's slogan has it exactly right. Quote, "The existence of poverty is shameful. To be poor is not." End quote. It's safest to study inconvenient people from a distance. It's simplest to treat them as data points and to funnel their lived experience through statistics. In law school, I once attended a prison law conference. There was a panel on solitary confinement. One panelist was an academic who studied this and defended the practice, and another was a woman who'd spent years in solitary confinement. They posed the question, what impact does solitary have on prisoners' mental health? The academic apologist said, it's not so bad. And the person with lived experience said, I would often try to smuggle sharp things into my cell to cut myself so I could feel something. God help me. And the academic looked at the prisoner as though he'd never seen a data point speak. And that was so jarring and so telling. And I think something similar happened to us during budget debates in December. We've been discussing houselessness for years before I got this job. Patience is a virtue, and this council has been very patient with other people's suffering. We have taken a reasoned, incremental approach which leads folks to die on our streets. Something changed in December. The data points came to council and talked in real life. They sat in those chairs. Some of them were dirty. One guy showed me meth he had in his pocket. These were not our usual attendees, and it was pretty jarring to have them come into our space. Those people were not asking for our charity. They were demanding justice. How dare they? Houseless folks in Regina are choking on our abundant charity and starving for a lack of justice. Houseless folks and their allies were brazen in December. It felt like an invasion into business as usual. Some experienced them as aggressive and got their backs up about it. As you know, we held our ground. We didn't give an inch to the houseless people. We stood up to them. Then we have a winter break. We come back, and this is the first thing on the docket. Let's remove Dan from the committee. Dan is too opposed to homelessness to be on the homelessness committee. We need a moderate response to the crisis. When I read this motion, I plan to voluntarily resign. I know there's a block of 7 or 9, depending how you count it, who disagree with me on these issues. Why go through the hassle? Initially, I was going to back out. Then I spoke to folks in community, those on the front lines of the houselessness crisis. They said this was not about Mayor Masters retaliating against me in some sort of schoolyard tit for tat. This was about retaliation against them. How dare houseless folks and their allies come here in December to demand justice? These community members indicated it was about them and not me. I wasn't sure about that conclusion, but I take my lead from community. The last thing the heritage community needs is another white lawyer assuring them they're not being targeted in the ways they think, that we're all in this together. Being an ally means listening. Today, a lead member of the heritage community is handing out cookies. They read, BIPOC communities deserve to be heard and respected. That's what for them is on the table in this debate. The community plainly spoke in December. Those communities most affected by the social issues which CSIR is designed to serve want to address it with bold action, no more slow walking. I certainly don't speak for community, but I do my best to speak with them, to amplify their voice in this chamber, which is often an echo chamber. The community needs bold action from the city and CSIR needs credibility with the community. removing the voice of heritage and not filling North Central in undermines that credibility and harms Caesar, harms us, and harms community. So vote against, please.
Councillor LeBlanc.